Hello friends, welcome back to Honey Apple Farm. It is the last day of November, which means it is also the last day of my self-imposed YouTube challenge. So I wanted to go over today what went well and what has not gone well. I have quite a few thank yous to give out and where I'm going to go next. So to recap, for those of you who are new to the channel or maybe have forgotten what I set out to do a month ago, my plan for October was to post one video here on YouTube every day. Initially, I said it was going to be a 2 to 5 minute video. And I also initially said I was going to do it literally every day of November. And a big thank you to Barbara for suggesting that I take the weekends off, because that was, I think, what made the challenge possible. So I started with an introductory video actually on Halloween, and then I've done 22 videos in the month of November. So this is video 23. So what have I learned? First of all, I have learned probably just the tip of the iceberg about lighting and camera angles and backgrounds and sound, and all of which definitely need to be vastly improved, but I knew that, and I knew that that was going to be a barrier to me creating great videos, and I told myself not to worry about it and to just do the best I could, and that I would learn as I go. And I did. So that worked really well, and it was very good for me to kind of dial back the overachiever expectations to just get in there and get it done. Same thing with video editing. I have done very basic video editing before now. I mean, basic in the sense of, here are some slides, here are some audio, sync them up, or here's a video, trim off a couple bits from the end and the middle. I wouldn't say that my video skills have advanced a great deal. Video editing skills have advanced a great deal, but I would certainly say that they have improved. I have tried 3 different softwares. One that I have that is old on my computer, one that came free with Windows, and then the new one that you guys have seen in the last couple of days, which is Wondershare by Filmora. And oddly, I don't hate video editing. I thought I might. I thought that the fun would be recording the video and that it would just be tedious and awful to edit the video. Turns out it's not. I wouldn't say I love video editing. I don't think I'd want to do it for a living, but especially towards the end of the challenge, it felt really comfortable to know that I was going to sit down and edit a video and at least have some basic idea of what I was going to do in that editing process, which certainly was not the case when I started. So hooray for that. The other thing that I realized as the challenge was going on, originally I set myself a 2 to 5 minute length for my videos, and that was really just to take the pressure off. I mean, it felt crazy to just straight out record a 15 or 20 minute video. And for the first week or two, that was really helpful. And then I discovered that some of the videos I wanted to make, the story for me, the way I wanted to tell a story, naturally took longer than 5 minutes. So although I had said that I was going to do 2 to 5 minute videos, and I tend to be a person who sticks to my own rules and other people's rules when appropriate, this felt like one of those rules that definitely was just there to get me motivated and also could be discarded. So as you guys may have noticed, the last couple weeks, the video lengths have been all over the place. They've been, as short as 2.5 or 3 minutes. They've been as long as I think 15 or 20. And that gave me an opportunity to experiment with a little bit longer of a story arc and also some different effects. Again, going back to the editing, I figured out how to speed up clips, and I figured out how to put music over clips, which was very cool and very fun. So I think that also worked well, just keeping in mind that the goal was to experiment and get some practice in and not hold myself to any particular standards or rules. The other thing that was a tremendous help was knowing that you all were watching and knowing that Marcia, at least, would be commenting. Although I didn't know that in the beginning, it was a very big surprise to me, and I am very grateful. So one of the things that kept me going, there were definitely days when I got to the end of the evening, that time after dinner and before bed, and I thought, oh, all I want to do is relax, and I haven't posted my YouTube video for the day. I had grand plans of, filming a bunch in one day and then having a lot of videos scheduled out for the week. That pretty much never happened. But knowing that you all were watching, knowing that I had made a commitment to myself and to you all to do this challenge really helped push me through those nights when I thought, oh, I just don't want to do it, because I know myself. And if I miss a step in a routine, it is very difficult for me to get back on the routine. So for example, if I miss going for a walk one morning, it is vastly more likely that I'm not going to go for a walk the next morning. And so I really did not want to stop posting a video a weekday because I thought if I did, I'd never get started again, which is probably true, knowing me. So I really appreciated knowing that you all were there and watching and waiting for the next video. At least I hope you were waiting for the next video. If not, you at least watched it, which I thank you for profusely. The other thing that I have learned, and this is kind of going beyond the technical aspect, is that I think I will really like being a visual storyteller. I have an incredible amount to learn. It turns out that creative writing degree from 20 years ago is pretty much useless. And also, I was never a very good creative writer in the first place. I'm a good writer, but I was never very good at plot arcs and characters and all that kind of stuff. So I am going to continue down the YouTube path. I do want to get better at visual storytelling. I am intrigued. I have definitely gotten my hands wet enough to know that I want to keep going. Whether I want to do it forever, I don't know. But I know myself from picking up new hobbies over the years that I've passed the kind of initial, am I interested in this? And there's definitely a next chunk of I want to dig deeper and get better. And I'll either continue after that phase is over or I won't. But that is definitely where I'm at right now. So yeah, I want to be a visual storyteller. I want to get good at visual storytelling. And I also found it really rewarding to have such a plethora of topics for videos. Again, I think in the future, when I'm more focused around a specific topic, that might be a little harder. But one of the things that I honestly was worried about when I sat down for the challenge was, do I have enough to talk about in 23 videos? And it turns out I do, especially when those videos are very, one topic, one video focus. So that was very cool. The emotional side of being a YouTuber, I have watched several of my YouTuber friends who have all recorded videos at various times about what it's like to be a YouTuber. And I also did a little bit of reading about YouTube in the last year. And they all pretty much said the same thing. Don't get hung up on your stats. Don't, hang around waiting for comments to flood in when you're just getting started. And one of the things that I told myself when I started the challenge on an emotional level was to not worry about engagement. That the point of this was, yes, you guys are watching, and yes, I really appreciate that, and that's wonderful, but I didn't want to live or die by the number of views that my video had, or likes or comments or anything like that. So I pretty much stayed out. Let me back up a step. I definitely paid attention to those in the first week just because I was curious to see what the YouTube dashboard looked like and what it reported and what the information looked like. And I think maybe I've checked back once a week ever since. But I really didn't want to get all excited about, what happened to do well or what happened to not do well, because really these are all training videos. And the point was not really to test out the content of them so much as it was to test out whether this is a process that I want to do. So in that sense, it's actually been very kind of emotionally neutral on that spectrum. And also I think really positive on another emotional level. One of the things that I have been struggling with since I left Smart Blogger at the end of August is really taking action on things. I tend to research a lot. I tend to plan and dream a lot, but I'm not always great on the execution side. And so being able to, be in the middle of a project and have it not be a huge deal, and just be something that I did, every weekday, and I just got it done. And sometimes the videos I was really proud of, and sometimes I thought, well, I probably could have done that better. Whatever. I just did it, and I was in the rhythm of doing it, and that felt really good. It felt like I was making progress, and I have made progress. It felt like I was putting the ideas into action instead of just dreaming and planning about them. So that on an emotional level was very, very satisfying. I was also very lucky. Another round of thank yous to Peter, who was incredibly understanding when I said, I have to go edit a video tonight. Goodbye now. See you in 2 hours. Or when I was filming things around the house and he needed to, not open and close doors for 20 minutes or not get his coffee or whatever, he has been incredibly, incredibly supportive throughout this journey. And that has been wonderful. So where do we go next? Well, I'm going to keep posting videos. I don't know how often. I'd like to do at least one a week to keep in the habit of it. And I'm definitely, I got a Skillshare membership this week. If those of you who haven't heard of Skillshare, it's this awesome site where a variety of instructors, they create their own class, so they put it on Skillshare, and they're all skills-based classes. So there's lots of how-tos. There's, how to YouTube, all kinds of different, storytelling and editing and lighting and all that stuff. There's how to draw and paint and marketing and all this kind of stuff. So I'm taking a deep breath and going in and drinking from the YouTube fire hose and learning a few skills in tandem. One of them is visual storytelling. One of them is the technical side of YouTube, how SEO works and how new people find your channel and all that fun stuff. And then the third piece, which will hopefully come out of the visual storytelling stuff, is what exactly this channel is going to be about going forward. It might stay Honey Apple Farm. It might change, and that's one of the things that I need to do some research on and kind of figure out what I have to give that is interesting and unique and valuable. So if you have any thoughts or ideas after having watched me for this month on that, please drop them in the comments below. That will be extremely helpful as I kind of work through over the next probably month or so and try to really narrow down on, what value can I bring going forward. So I want to end with another huge round of thank yous. I know I've said a lot of thank yous throughout this month, and I definitely said a lot of thank yous at the Thanksgiving video, but I want to reiterate that I am grateful for all of you for encouraging me to start a YouTube channel, for subscribing when I did, for leaving the comments, for the emails that you have sent me. I was reading how to get started on YouTube, a couple of them actually in the last couple of weeks, and they all seem to think that the fear of publishing your first video was like a very real thing that almost everybody experiences and needs to be overcome. And I actually did not have that fear at all, because I knew that you guys were going to be supportive no matter how crappy it was. And also I didn't think it was going to be the world's crappiest video, and it wasn't. But yeah, it turns out that a lot of people are scared about publishing their first video on YouTube, and that was definitely not a concern of mine. And I think it's because I had your all support. So thank you very much for coming along on the November YouTube challenge. There will be more content coming from Honey Apple Farm. I'm hoping to publish at least weekly while I figure things out. So expect to see you again next week. Have a fabulous beginning of December. For those of you who are doing Advent calendars, I hope your Advent calendar start is fantastic tomorrow, and I will see you next week. Bye for now.